boom.
Catastrophic. Nothing ever I won't ever hear again.
And the tragic outcome.
He was right underneath where it fell. He was cleaning the concrete off underneath, and it all fell out on top of him.
Good evening, everyone. Despite praying for a miracle, a rescue effort downtown is now a recovery effort.
A partial collapse trapped a man under feet of concrete, and tonight we're getting our first look inside the building under construction at 4th and Race. There are still a lot of questions about how this could happen.
Our team coverage of the collapse begins with Brad Underwood and a worker who was working inside when all of this happened. Brad.
Well, good evening, Kim. Yes, he shared an incredible story with one of our local 12 photographers earlier today. But the latest information coming tonight from Turner Construction saying that 4 of its workers were transported to area hospitals. They have all been treated and released. Now, that's a different number than they said earlier in 3. So 4 workers to the hospital, treated and released. But far from over here at the scene, we are at 4th and Elm, where crews continue that recovery mission you mentioned, continuing to drill and saw through all that concrete up on the 4th and 5th floors. The Butler County Technical Rescue Team, they're just in front of us here. They are here now. They're going to be taking over these efforts in the overnight hours, relieving the crews here all afternoon and evening. One thing is for sure, Cincinnati Fire Chief telling us no one is going to be leaving this area until they find that missing worker. All afternoon and night, crews with Cincinnati Fire and Urban Search and Rescue worked to find the missing man with dogs and drones and eventually digging and sawing through debris.
There's a lot of obstacles that we're incurring, but at the same time, we're still trying to overcome those challenges.
In a matter of moments, hundreds of yards of concrete and rebar come crashing down on the 5th floor of the 4th Street structure.
Cracking, and then a big boom, guys yelling.
Nick Fisher was there. He says the decking and scaffolding underneath the wet concrete gave out, falling on top of workers and trapping one of them. He even tried to save one.
He was right underneath where it fell. He was cleaning the concrete off underneath, and it all fell out on top of him. I was in there digging him out for about an hour, hands, shovels, buckets, just trying to get him out.
Fisher says the sight and sounds of all of this, something he never wants to experience again.
I was about 6 inches from it, and then the whole deck fell in. My buddy, I think that he broke his back.
Now, this happened in the middle of the day, just after 1 o'clock. A lot of people in the busy downtown area here on 4th Street and saw this unfold and the rescue efforts that continued afterwards. David Winter talked to some of those people. He's on the other side of this structure with what witnesses told him. David.
I'm standing at the other end of this mixed-use building. It's a massive project. I'm standing out in the middle of 4th Street because they have it closed down. It's been closed down since 1 o'clock this afternoon when this collapse occurred, and it's going to remain closed down, we're told, through the morning commute. Now that is on 4th Street all the way from Elm up to Vine. This was a catastrophic failure. Take a look at some video from earlier today. You can see where the 6th floor collapsed into the 5th floor. People were down below. We're told that they were diving for cover. Take a look what the witnesses who saw this happen had to say about what they saw and what they heard.
It was like boom, like that, a real loud boom like that. And when I arrived, I asked people if there was anybody injured. I was going to try to help in any way I could.
I look outside, and there's 3 construction workers on the back of the concrete buggy that was lifting the concrete up. And they looked up, and you could see all the lumber and metal coming down. They dove underneath the concrete truck off of the platform. Luckily, I think that saved their lives.
This stretch of 4th Street will remain closed through the morning commute. Back to you in the studio.
All right, and this is what the building will look like when it is finished. The 14-story building will have hundreds of apartments, street-level retail, and then a 6th-floor parking garage. Stay with Local 12 News for continuing coverage of the collapse downtown, on the air and online.